Picture this, a quiet evening in a small American town, an innocent black teenager walking home, when suddenly, police unleash a snarling K-9 on her, only to freeze in terror when her mother, a battle-hardened Delta Force operative, storms onto the scene. If you're hooked on stories of raw justice, heart-stopping confrontations, and jaw-dropping twists that expose systemic flaws and celebrate unbreakable family bonds, smash that subscribe button now. Don't miss out. Join our community from the USA to the UK for more electrifying narratives that'll keep you on the edge of your seat. Subscribe and hit the bell to catch every pulse-pounding tale. In the fading light of a humid July evening in Willow Creek, Georgia, 16-year-old Maya Johnson trudged along the cracked sidewalk of Maple Street, her backpack slung over one shoulder, earbuds blasting Kendrick Lamar. A junior at Willow Creek High, Maya was known for her quick wit, track team speed, and a scholarship essay that had just won her a spot at a summer STEM camp. Her skin, a rich mahogany, glistened with sweat from the day's heat, and her braided hair bounced with each step. She was heading home after tutoring at the community center, a route she'd walked hundreds of times through this working-class neighborhood of modest bungalows and chain-link fences. But tonight, the air felt heavy, not just with humidity, but with an eerie tension. 2 blocks away, a police cruiser idled at a gas station, officers Mark Hensley and Greg Dalton sipping lukewarm coffee. They'd been tipped off about a suspicious teenager, in a hoodie, possibly linked to a string of petty thefts. The description was vague, black, young, wearing dark clothing, but to them, Maya fit the bill. Without a second thought, Hensley radioed for backup, and they peeled onto Maple Street, lights flashing but sirens off, their K-9, a German Shepherd named Blitz, growling in the back. Maya didn't notice the cruiser until it screeched to a halt beside her. "Hey, you, stop right there," Hensley barked, leaping out with his hand on his holster. Startled, Maya pulled out an earbud, her eyes wide. "Me, what's wrong?" she stammered, freezing as Blitz's barks echoed from the cruiser. Dalton, younger and eager to prove himself, opened the K-9's door, gripping the leash. "Hands up, we got reports of a thief in the area. Where you coming from?" Maya's heart raced. She'd heard stories of police stops going wrong, especially for kids like her. "I was tutoring at the center," she said, slowly raising her hands. "My id's in my bag." But Hensley wasn't listening. "Don't move," he shouted, misreading her nervous fidget as resistance. Dalton, misjudging the situation, released Blitz with a command, "Apprehend." The dog lunged, teeth bared, and Maya screamed, stumbling backward as the 80-pound animal barreled toward her. She tripped, hitting the pavement hard, her backpack sliding away. Blitz clamped onto her sleeve, tearing fabric as she cried out, "I didn't do anything." Across town, at a modest brick house on Cedar Lane, Lieutenant Call Vanessa Johnson, Maya's mother, was unloading groceries. At 42, Vanessa was a legend in military circles, a Delta Force operative who'd served in covert ops across Iraq, Afghanistan, and places she couldn't name. Her calloused hands bore scars from missions that never made the news, and her steely gaze could silence a room. She'd retired to reserves a year ago to be closer to Maya, her only child, after her husband's death in a car accident. Vanessa had taught Maya to be resilient but cautious, especially in a town where racial profiling wasn't just a headline, it was a reality. That evening, Vanessa's phone pinged with a panicked text from Maya's friend at the community center. "Cops stopped Maya on Maple. Looks bad." Vanessa's blood ran cold. She grabbed her keys, sprinting to her Jeep, her combat boots pounding the driveway. She knew Maple Street was 10 minutes away, but she'd make it in 5. Back on the street, neighbors had gathered, phones out, filming as Maya struggled under Blitz's weight. "Get him off me," she sobbed, her arm bleeding from a shallow bite. Hensley hesitated, realizing the suspect was a terrified girl, but Dalton doubled down, yelling, "Stop resisting." The crowd grew louder, shouting at the officers to back off. Just then, tires screeched, and Vanessa's Jeep skidded to a stop. She leapt out, her 5 feet 10 inches frame radiating fury, her military fatigues and dog tags glinting under the streetlights. "Get that dog off my daughter now," she roared, her voice cutting through the chaos like a blade. The officers froze, stunned by her presence. Blitz, sensing the shift, released Maya and cowered, whining. Vanessa knelt beside Maya, checking her wounds, her eyes blazing as she glared at the officers. You just attacked a minor, my child, based on what? A hoodie. I'm Lieutenant Colonel Vanessa Johnson, U.S. Army Delta Force. Step back, or I'll show you what apprehension really looks like. Hensley's face paled. He'd heard of Vanessa, a local hero whose commendations hung in City Hall. Dalton, oblivious, scoffed, "Ma'am, this is a police matter. Back off." Vanessa stood, her posture lethal, and the crowd hushed. "You're on my street, endangering my daughter. You want a matter? I'll give you one." She pulled out her phone, dialing the precinct's captain, her former classmate. "Captain Reese, it's Vanessa Johnson. Your officers just sicked a K-9 on my 16-year-old for no reason. Send internal affairs. Now." The officers exchanged glances, realizing their mistake. The crowd's videos were already spreading online, hashtags like #JusticeForMaya trending within minutes. But the twist was coming. As backup arrived, a third officer recognized Vanessa from a joint training exercise years ago. Colonel Johnson. "Oh, man, we messed up," he muttered, ordering Blitz back to the cruiser. Maya, shaken but defiant, clung to her mother as paramedics arrived. Vanessa's calm exterior masked a storm. She'd spent years dismantling threats abroad, only to face them in her own backyard. The office's body cams, later reviewed, showed no probable cause for the stop, just a vague tip in their snap judgment. The real shock came days later. The theft tip traced back to a disgruntled neighbor, Karen Phelps, who'd clashed with Maya over a school fundraiser and falsely reported her out of spite. Karen's exposure led to her public shaming, her real estate business boycotted. But the deeper twist. Internal affairs uncovered that Dalton had a pattern of excessive force, linked to a white supremacist chat group online. His suspension sparked protests, with Vanessa leading calls for reform. Maya, healed but scarred, channeled her trauma into activism, speaking at rallies with her mother's quiet support. Vanessa, meanwhile, leveraged her military network, exposing a corrupt training program that encouraged aggressive K-9 use. The program was scrapped, and Willow Creek's police faced federal scrutiny. At a town hall, Vanessa and Maya stood together, their bond unbreakable. "This isn't just about us," Vanessa said, her voice steady. "It's about every kid who deserves to walk home safely." The crowd erupted, and Karen, in the back, slipped out, her reputation in tatters. Months later, Maya won a national essay contest on justice, her words echoing her mother's strength. Willow Creek, once divided, began to heal, with a new community center named after Maya, a testament to a girl and her Delta Force mother who turned a nightmare into a movement.